Welcome back to my e-bike series. If you haven't seen part 1 or 2, I would encourage you to check them out, but it's not completely necessary. In this video, I will cover how I built my 1250 watt-hour e-bike battery from recycled laptop batteries. The first thing I do is I buy laptop batteries in bulk from my local recycling center. They usually have at least 20 or so lying around. These laptop batteries, I picked each one up for $1.50. If you buy more than 10, they'll charge you $1.50 per battery. So that's about around anywhere from 15 to 25 cents a cell, which compared to retail isn't very bad at all. Anyways, now that I'm in here, I pry it up. So after a little bit more spudging, I've gotten almost a whole corner of the battery pack. And usually at this point you just pry it open with your hands. Although there's a lot of sharp edges now, so again, definitely recommend wearing gloves. There you go. That's it. And then just recycle the casing. Next up, we got to get all the garbage off the cell, so I usually like to start with the circuit board. Just snip all the power lines one by one. This one appears to be a little bit complicated. Start at the end here. Zip that to free it. Pull that up. And this is how I get the battery tabs off. I simply pry them off the ends, and then it'll leave a tiny little bit behind. Yeah, it leaves a tiny bit behind, but that's good. That's a good cell right there. That's good. So now I got all the crap off the cells. You usually get about 6 to 8 cells per laptop battery. Sometimes you can get 9. And in really weird cases you might get more than that. So then the last thing I usually do is I just go on the cells, make sure I didn't leave behind any metal tabs. And I'll just either peel this off with my fingernails or I'll use an X-Acto knife. This white stuff usually comes off without any problem. And that's it. Those are your cells. Now, next step is to get your multimeter. Just check the voltage of the cells. Like, usually if they're really low, like below a volt, I just won't bother with them. Like this is 0.65. I'm not sure I'll bother with that. Again, 0.65. So it looks like these are at a volt. It's kind of low, but I can live with that. Now that you've checked to make sure your cells aren't completely dead, the next thing to do, if you're making a battery, like a series up pack, you do want to know how much capacity these things still have left. So, your timeline may look different based on how many you're processing. Like if I'm doing a large amount, I'll charge them up with a separate charger before putting them into this thing. But if I'm not doing a large amount, like if I'm just doing these 4 here, just slot it into here. Yep. Recognizes all the voltages. Set a charge current and a discharge current. And then you do charge test. And what that does is once these things are charged, it'll start discharging the cells and measuring how many milliamp hours you can pull from the cells before they're completely drained. And this thing will tell you how much capacity is still left in these cells. So that's why I like this. It's useful, reliable, accurate, and if you put the batteries in wrong, it's idiot proof. There's nothing you can do to ruin this device. Now, one of the final steps before you use the batteries, or the final step that I like to do, it's not 100% necessary, but if you're building a large battery pack and you want reliability, you do want to make sure that these things don't drain themselves out over time. So what I like to do is I'll charge them back up to full peak voltage of around 4.2. Usually 4.19, something like that. I'll make sure it's at that specific voltage, and then I'll just put it in a box. I'll come back 1 month later, or 2 weeks, around that time frame, and I'll check the voltage again. And if it has dropped an unreasonable amount, say 0.05 volts or 0.1 volts, then I know the cell's bad and I won't be using it in any of my packs. Okay, so quick explanation on how lithium works. So this is how all packs are built. You have, let's just use a simple example, 2 cells in series. If each lithium cell has 4.2 volts max charge, the total pack will have 8.4 volts. Now the problem arises is if one of these has one capacity and the other has a different capacity, when you charge this, the cell with less capacity in it, the cell with 1 amp hour as opposed to 2 amp hours, it's going to soak up voltage twice as fast as this cell. And when that happens, it's bad, because if this thing gets overcharged, it can be damaged and it can even blow up. And also the problem arises when you're discharging this cell will resist it discharging twice as good as this other cell. And what that means is, picture it as a chain. The chain's only strong as the weakest link. And in the weakest link, that's basically the strength of the whole battery pack. So if you have 1 amp hour cell in the battery pack, and the others are 2 amp hour cells, then you're only going to be able to draw 1 amp hour from that battery pack before these cells become damaged. So it's important, very, very important, that each cell in series in the battery pack has very similar capacities. So the battery pack I'm designing, I have measured out the capacities of all my used cells, so I know exactly how I'm going to arrange the cells in such a way that each cell of the battery pack has the same capacity. That is very important. Okay, this is it. Well, this is only a small piece of it. Let's clear some table space and get to work. So, I didn't bother filming this part, but I added some connectors. First off, we have the main connector here that hooks up to the controller. These are the two XT60 connectors. This allows the charger to see the voltage of every cell and drain cells accordingly. And lastly, we have two charging connectors. Because this is effectively two 7S packs in parallel during charging, and then they're in series during actual use. Lastly, we have the jumper here. When I add a jumper to this connector, it jumps the two 7S packs into a 14S series pack. And over here, I have this, simply a momentary switch I got out of a microwave. Because when you jump this, all the capacitors in the controller try to charge up instantly, and that's very bad because it effectively creates a very high current at this connector and melts a small part of the connector, so it kills your connector very quickly. So this is just a switch with a resistor, and that allows the capacitors to charge more slowly, so when I insert this it doesn't spark or damage my connectors. So I did a discharge test on the two 7S packs. Each performed near identically. The charger pulled 20 amp hours out of each pack before the 7th cell in the pack dropped in voltage enough to stop the test. I haven't drained these for a while, and thus the voltage has recovered a bit, so I believe I could pull around 24 amp hours, which is a little bit more close to my 27 amp hour estimate. So, with less than $50 of recycled cells, I have built a battery pack with a capacity of 1250 watt hours. So that could power a 1250 watt microwave for about an hour. That is a significant amount of power in a battery pack. Thanks for watching. Now I will be testing the e-bike's range and performance in the near future. For notifications of future uploads, follow me on Twitter. As always, links in the description. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section and I will get back to you.